So this morning, I probably had one of the most craziest conversations I've ever had talking to Claude on my phone around the philosophies of life and just different lessons. And I'll use Claude for, as we're scaling different teams with like AI and different conversations I'm having to like optimize myself and the people that I work with and the results that we get. I'm constantly using Claude. But a lot of the times, just like on a Sunday morning, I'm going to be like, how can I like use Claude to improve my philosophies of reality? Like, how can I just have a better way of looking at life? And I've identified that there's two types of people. And if you're watching this video for some reason, it was interesting enough for you to click on it and it was captivating enough for you to listen. And there's also a reason that you're watching it right now and a reason that that it's happening. So think, where are you in these two categories of people? And really genuinely think, because you're going to want to gravitate towards the one that you think you are. But I bet you're probably actually the one that you resent. The two types of people are the ones that are in the thought category of life, thinking of life, fantasizing of life, buying into the culture narratives of what a successful life looks like, Hollywood, dreams, fantasies, illusions casted in their mind. Of what they believe they need to do to be successful or what they believe they need to prepare for to start living life. And they live life in expectancy. Seneca, one of the greatest philosophers, he had the essay on the shortness of life. The greatest enemy to life is expectancy, right? We place it on tomorrow. We're like, okay, I'm just going to do it a little bit later. I'm going to do it over here. And we separate ourselves every time. And we make it harder and harder to actually live in congruence with nature, to live in congruence with inspiration, right? So there's that type of person. They suffer in their mind. They suffer in their imagination. They're stuck in their past fears that they're trying to overcome. They're stuck in their future realities that they're trying to build. And it's a constant struggle in their own mind. And they'll have illusions of progress because they purchase a course or they get some wins when they're following a structure. But what they fail to realize is that there's a little block between them and reality. And that block is the course. That block is the thought. That block is the thing that takes them out of the present moment, because the only thing you have is the present moment. Right? So those are those people. And they're really good at preparing. They're really good at saying they're going to take action. They're really good at collecting information. But then and copying algorithms, but then there's no actual action or integration. So there's that side of it. And really think, because I know you probably don't want to be that person, but if you look at any suffering you have in your life, I bet it falls into that camp, because it always does. Suffering can only exist in that category of life. Can only exist in that category. The other side of pure action, pure harmony, pure congruence with nature. This is, as soon as you get inspiration, you just film it. I didn't know I was going to film this. I got this idea to film this about 15 minutes ago, maybe 20 minutes ago. I had to get the light up and get my tripod out and stuff like that. But it was very quick. And I was like, wait, gift from the universe. I got an idea. Let me film it real quick. Right? That is living in harmony with action. It's not blind action, right? So notice this, right? There's so many people that are in the thought category of life that are taking blind action, right? What I mean by blind action is like they get, Alex Ramosi tells them to do it, or just some other, person on the internet, or they just see everyone, right? We just copy everyone. That's just what we do. Or people seem to do, right? So you just copy people. Oh, well, they're taking a bunch of action, so I'm going to take a bunch of action, right? Is that living in absolute pure congruence and harmony with your true nature and actual pure action? Or is that mimemic action? Right? So you gotta, you don't want to get too complicated with this, but you realize like these games that you'll play with yourself of, did it actually, here's how to know, right? When you posted the thing, did you actually feel proud about it? Did you actually feel proud about it? Or did you feel like you were just following some other person's recipe, some other person's blueprint, some other person's definition of success, and you just kind of just put it out there because you're just like, oh, like I guess so. Like, I guess this is good enough. I guess this is what you're supposed to do to become successful. Was it that energy, or was it the energy of like harmony, of action, of like, yeah, okay, I know I need to build up the algorithm, but like, this is my direction. This is the way I'm going to grow. This is my little spin on it, right? What was that level of your calibration with life? And what I'm realizing is that there's just two type of people, right? We're having a meeting this morning for sales.io for our company, right? We had a person on the meeting, right? It was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do the videos maybe a little bit later. Let me like block it out. I'm like, no, let's do the videos right now, right? Let's just come up with some ideas. And it was this thing of just like, why are we putting off life, right? Like, okay, we got the idea that we want to do right now. Okay, let's do it right now. Let's do it right now. Quick ideas, boom. Even if it's just, yeah, you're going to have a deeper session later, perfect. But start right now. Start the first sentence right now, because it's the easiest right now. It's like you got the idea. It's like, okay, let's maybe think this direction, that direction. Okay, perfect. And when you do that, now your subconscious can work on it. Now you can have different elements of reality working towards you, because you're no longer separating, right? When you separate it instantaneously and be like, okay, I got this idea, I'm going to do it a week from now. You're separating yourself from that reality more and more. And as energy changes, as you go through life, it becomes harder and harder to actually execute upon that very thing that you wanted to execute upon, right? So this is maybe the scariest video I've made, because it really gets to the source of like any issues that I've ever had in life, scaling different companies and working with different clients that we've had. Is I live in the idea of expectancy. I'm like, oh, this would be a cool idea to implement. This would be cool. Let me learn more things about this. Let me add more data to the AI. Let me add this, add that. It's all these activities that dance around the idea of living, of fully embracing, of fully stepping into the version of yourself you know that you should be this whole time, right? So what is that version of yourself that you've been denying? And how can you just like instantaneously take action? And that's what I want you to think about with this. And all these videos, by the way, when I'm talking to you, I'm really just selfishly talking to myself, because I'm just like, all right, okay, like there's no more putting it off. It's like, if I have an idea for a thing that I want to write or a video I want to do, I'm going to make it instantaneously in that moment if the time allows me to. And when you live with that level of action, that level of output, and you just put it out there instantaneously, you will find a lot of your problems go away. Right? A lot of your problems go away when you're in the action zone of life, because now you get the universe on your side. You're no longer denying universe. You're no longer giving constant resistance signals, right? Every time you take something that you're like, oh, I'm just going to put it around later. It's like you're giving this like resistance, right, to life, when you're actually just going into the direction of congruence of like, wait, I got this idea. Let me instantaneously act on it. There's a certain harmony that happens with it. And this isn't a thing where it's like, oh, well, you don't time block and you don't think strategically. It's not about that. It's about like really not over intellectualizing life is really like the best way to think of this. It's like every time I intellectualize life, every time I fall in love with the idea of life versus living life itself, right? And that is a key thing, falling in love with the idea of life versus living life itself. That's where you can get the scariest problems in your life, where you think you're living it, you think you're living in harmony, you think you're living in alignment, but actually your whole life has been a lie, because you actually haven't been creating the thing that you're here to create. So apply this, think deeply about this, and really ask yourself today, am I going to live in the thought and thinking category of life, or am I actually going to step into the version of myself that I know I can be? See you in the next video.